Hey guys, Dan Heilman back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about the final little shakeout before the breakout, in my opinion. This is what we got going on. So here's our price action on Bitcoin. We have kind of started rounding over a little bit on the 4-hour. We've seen finally some pullbacks. There's really been no pullback since about really this whole month so far. We've had basically no major pullbacks. We've just been kind of grinding up and up and up. We had our very first pullback really on Tuesday morning, and this was also kind of just because, you know, SPY, the S&P 500 had a pullback on Tuesday. So if we look at Tuesday right here, you can see this big red candle. And then, interesting enough, the Camel Finance indicator has picked this as the daily cycle low, meaning that the price should not really trade below this for the next, I don't know, a couple weeks here, really, is how that usually works here. So if we go look at the last one, you can see the daily cycle. This one actually ended up being a weekly cycle low, and the price has just grinded up a lot since then, right? We also have gold at all-time highs. So if we go over here, we have gold hitting another all-time high of 4,000. A little tiny pullback today. I actually closed my gold positions a little bit too early. I closed them on this red candle right here, 3,800. We did end up grinding a little bit higher, so I tried to get cute and get a little extra, you know, lower entry, but that's okay. We left it closed. I'm not going to FOMO in right now. I do think we'll see some pullbacks. We are very oversold on the RSI for gold. I think someone was saying on the weekly, it's like the highest the RSI has ever been in history, 90, or maybe was it daily? We hit 87, maybe it was monthly, I don't even know. Monthly, we hit, oh yeah, monthly, 91.777. I see another 91-ish in 1968. Oh my God. It actually hit 99. So in the last very long time, this is the highest that the monthly RSA on gold has been. So, you know, general markets are going up. The dollar has been going down. So if we look at the dollar, we kind of are at the bottom of resistance here. We've had a drop of, I don't know, 12, 13% on that. But this was, in my opinion, just a final shakeout. This was a lot of price action, you know, from Binance. I actually follow this guy, Marty Party, and he has like a private group that kind of just tracks wallets, you know, shout out to him. Yeah, so it kind of sometimes makes me feel better just to see that, oh, you know, Binance dumping Solana right here, Binance dumping Ethereum, Binance dumping Solana. Binance has been dumping Solana every, you know, $5 to $20 million like every single hour. I think they're just trying to suppress the price, and there's no real regulations for sorry, getting over a little bit of a cold, so sorry about that. There's no real, you know, global regulations on crypto, right? So they can just liquidate people. And also, Binance holds no Solana on their exchange, so they're actually using user funds to do this because, you know, their proof of reserves say they have 0 Solana. So clearly, how are they selling Solana then if they have 0 Solana, right? And it's really everyone who deposits their money on Solana. Kraken has been dumping a little, Coinbase dumps a little, but, you know, it's a normal market maker responsibility to sell crypto just to make sure that people have enough liquidity to buy. So it is normal to send some cryptocurrency to the market maker, which is Wintermute right here. That is totally normal, and that's how a market maker works. That's their purpose, right? Is to make sure that there's always buys and there's always sells so that people can get it and it doesn't massively affect the price. So that is the purpose of a market maker. But as you can see, look at the timestamp here, 407 for Solana, 419, right? For Ethereum, so 4:19 a.m. If we look right here, what was the time that we started dumping? On hourly chart, let's see, 4 a.m. Look at this big dump, right? So big red candle on Ethereum. You can see here, boom, it was a 2.3% dump, and that was right when Binance started selling, right? 420, Solana, Ethereum. So if we go to Solana now, I'm sure we'll see a similar thing here. Solana, I wanted to show you the proof because I always talk about market makers dumping. 4 a.m. Look at that. 4 a.m. Look at this big candle, big dump. And you can see kind of the effects of that, right? So in my opinion, they're trying to shake out some people before the big dump. The big pump. So I think this is just a shakeout. I think we're going to be continuing to go up. So I am long on a couple different currencies. I put very small amounts into some of these because I had a feeling that we were going to go up a little bit. I did close my leverage yesterday just for a small gain. I got a little too excited and didn't wait for a big enough pullback before entering again. So I think I entered, originally like Litecoin, I entered right here. It pulled back. And then when it got back up in here, I closed for a small profit. Neo was kind of the same thing. I entered here, came back up, closed for a small profit. It was the same thing for Bitcoin. I have some orders down here. I think I had an order right here at 120,600. I thought maybe we were going to sweep this low, and we still might sweep the low. But as I was saying, the S&P 500, it's actually pulling back a tiny bit now. So a little baby bit of red on the daily, is very, very small amount. So just a very small pullback. But the markets are holding up, the general market. So again, this gives me a lot of confidence that crypto is going to hold up and have some big buys. I see a lot of people even on X talking about Senator Loomis and stuff about potentially buying cryptocurrencies. She's just talking about it a lot. So at this point, it's almost like the boy that cried wolf. But so Senator Loomis was talking about, there's definitely ways that the strategic reserve can start purchasing cryptocurrencies, and how they're definitely not going to be, selling any cryptocurrencies. I can't find it right here, but there's the account if you want to follow her on X as well. So I think we'll have some sort of a catalyst that will push us into this green quarter. We are so far green in Bitcoin, and this is usually one of the best months for Bitcoin. So even if we look at, let's look at where did I have that chart here? I guess I got rid of it. But if we go to like monthly candles and we get rid of all these trading indicators, so we have a nice and clean looking chart here. You can see I had the quarters marked out because I saw some people predict that this is going to be a red quarter. We've actually, if we go to the quarterly, we have never had a red candle on Q4 on a post-halving year. So that's what I was showing here. Here is the 2017 Q4 massive green. That was 500% in one candle. 2021 did almost have a red candle, but even though it opened down here and ended up still going up 60% in this quarter. So if this continues even, to that degree, a 60% pump would be all the way up to about 180 grand. So if we had a 60, that was the same as the last. And I think the last one did get muted a little bit because it was kind of like a double second pump here. If we go to the monthly, it's a little bit clearer, right? So I think this was kind of a little bit of a more muted circle, but of course we have had diminishing returns, and that could easily continue. So if we kind of like, draw some trend lines here, it looks like we're trying to break above this, but we are at considerable resistance here. So we'll kind of see what happens here. If we draw it, that's if candle close to candle close. If you draw it wick, if you draw it wick to wick, we do have a lot of resistance in this area. So if we do break through this, I think we will see a very large, I'm still predicting up here in the, almost 200,000s in the next couple months. And the only reason that would happen is some very extremely bullish news, like, strategic reserves for the United States, and they're purchasing, and maybe they're, revaluing their gold and buying for the strategic reserve or something like that. I think that's the kind of news we need to propel us to some massive prices. So again, in summary here, I think this is just a normal pullback, and I think it is somewhat market maker driven. As I showed you, Binance and some of the exchanges, market makers are dumping the price. I do have some longs on a couple different positions: Litecoin, Neo, ENA, Puffer, Dot, Trump. Trump might even get a ETF, so that'd be interesting. We have ETF approvals coming from Litecoin. We have them coming for Dogecoin. We have them, I think Dot's on the list, I'm sure, and a lot of the other ones. ETH had its staking approval for Grayscale, so that's pretty cool. Now you can stake. So I will be closing a lot of my Bitcoin and ETH in the next couple months, and then I'll be kind of holding a lot of cash, hoping to buy back. And I'm hoping to buy some of the ETFs for ETH, especially being able to stake it, put it in my tax advantage account like my Roth IRA, and staking that for some, I think they pay it out monthly or something, but we'll see how the staking goes for Grayscale. That's kind of interesting. And Solana ETF should be coming. That one should have staking rewards as well, so that would be a nice one. I do have a huge holding in Solana in spot. I think this one will do very well. Also, I have some Doge as well, so a lot of these coins I'm expecting to do some great outperformance, right? I think we'll see Bitcoin again lead the pack for maybe this month, and then kind of stabilize a bit. We hit another all-time high, and people don't even really care too much, so that's quite interesting. Let's check the FOMO Finder and some of the other metrics real quick, and then we'll get out of here. But FOMO Finder, what do we got going on for FOMO Finder? I'm assuming we're still balanced here. We've had a pullback, so we could see, yeah, okay, still balanced. So that's good to see. If we look at fear and greed, what do we got going on for fear and greed index? This is another thing I just like to check sentiment. It's interesting that now we're greed with this big pullback. This one just seems so random to me. It seems so random. It says volatility, market momentum and volume, social media, surveys, dominance, trends. But I find that kind of hard to believe, especially because if you look at like Google Trends, and you basically look at like Bitcoin here. So if I go Bitcoin, let's see what the Google Trends are looking at. So I don't care about the United States. Let's go worldwide, and let's go the past, I don't know, 12 months. So past 1 year, we're basically at like the lows, right? So not a lot of people looking for that. If we look for altcoins, what do we got going on here? It's like deader than a doornail. Basically straight up less than one. Let's maybe we say altcoins plural. Is that why that didn't show up anything? It's like zero, straight up zero. So no one cares about altcoins for sure, and no one even really seems to be caring about Bitcoin that much. The last time they cared was right around the election time, and that makes sense. We had a big pump around November. We did actually have this around August, so that's kind of interesting. I wonder what caused that little spike. But sentiments, in my opinion, kind of low. I see a lot of people talking about how the bull market's over. I mean, obviously, we have had a majority of the bull market. Again, if I zoom out, you can see we have had many months of up, right? So many months. Let me clean up the chart for you guys, make it a little bit easier to see. But you can see we have had many months of up, starting about 16 grand all the way up to here, and that's about a 644%. So we have seen a lot of pumps, obviously, in a lot of these markets. Ethereum's still looking healthy though, so a big pump right out of those April lows. Right out of the April lows, a massive pump. We haven't had a pullback to kind of retest some of these numbers. We didn't quite get to the bull market support band, so there is a thesis to be made that maybe we get one more pullback to this bull market support band, but I don't think that has to happen. And I think we're going to continue on. Even, Litecoin is still holding above the bull market support band. I'm super bullish on this one. I'm sure everyone knows that, but we've had a breakout of this trend line and kind of a retest of it. We retested it here. We almost retested it here. I'm expecting the price to go much higher. Another one I'm looking at, so ENA has against Bitcoin and Ethereum. I've seen the green dot on the Market Cipher B. I have an affiliate link below for Market Cipher B, but I'll show you on. I have ENA. So NEO's another one I'm looking at right here. It looks like it's holding up really well against Bitcoin. We have kind of like a triple bottom here, so there's a lot of support right here. So I have a NEO trade open. I'm expecting this one to do very well. It's kind of like the Chinese Ethereum. China is, dabbling in stable coins. Maybe they'll use NEO for it. That would be quite interesting. I have been a NEO holder since back in 2017 ish, and it was one of the strongest cryptocurrencies. And then, the cryptos were banned in China. They've been banned, unbanned, millions of times. But that's one of the ones that I'm really looking at. ENA, where's my ENA? I can't find my ENA. Oh yeah, very bottom here. ENA is also in the window for a cycle low. So I'm thinking this one is going to do well against Bitcoin. So we've had a big pump. Massive pump, really. This was what, a 230%, a pullback into the bull market support band, and we're kind of holding near the bottom of this. Pull back on the Market Cipher B indicator as well. Another one that might be doing very well is DOT. Again, it has a I mean, obviously, if you zoom out long term, they've been doing very bad against Bitcoin, right? So, you know, in my opinion, you don't want to hold alts for a very long time, but they do make very good trades, especially when you get to points that, you know, you can see this double bottom on DOT and then it went up, you know, 40% against Bitcoin. So for short-term trading, I think they're pretty good. Crow is another one that I'm looking at as a potential outperformer of Bitcoin over the next couple months. Dogecoin is another one that's in the bull market support band right now, has had a big pullback. And if you can see, you know, back here in the end of last year, you can see it went up, you know, 190% against Bitcoin. So I'm looking for some of these to do some short-term trades. I do use Bitunix. It's my favorite exchange. So I have an affiliate link below, and there's a special event right now where you get 20% off if you want, or 20% off. You get a 20% back when you deposit money on the exchange. So I have a link. I'll show you the event up top. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. So use those affiliate links if you want to support the channel. It's the best way to, as well as hitting that subscribe and that like button. Litecoin also just hanging out in a bear flag. So I'm expecting this one to pump a lot as well. I have some high targets for this one. ENS is another one I like. And of course, Solana. So Solana Bitcoin here, you can see it is still showing strength over Bitcoin. This is the bull market support band, which is a very heavy, moving average band here. So we could come back down and retest this, but I'm thinking a lot of these are going to be getting ETFs, so I'm quite bullish on them. So we will see what happens over the next couple months. And that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, again, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. A bunch of affiliate links below. It's the best way to support the channel. YouTube pays me nothing for these videos. Very small pennies, you know, I don't even know, less than $100 every couple months. So I don't make a lot from YouTube. All the money that allows me to continue making these videos comes from my affiliate links. So I appreciate the support. Have a great day. See you guys.